afternoon, students. Now we are going to discuss the consequences of the revolt of 1857. We have discussed the nature of the revolt of 1857, the causes of revolt of 1857, causes for the failure of the revolt of 1857. Now we are going to study the consequences of the revolt of 1857. What was the impact of this revolt on overall future of Indian subcontinent? We are going to discuss that. So let's get started with this. The first and foremost consequence of revolt of 1857 was that India came under British crown. Company's rule ended. Now we have discussed that from 1615 the company was trading with India. So even till time of Plassey and Buxar, company was here. Primarily the company was here to trade. That was the primary interest. Though we find that the company had started spreading its leg and started gaining territory over the region, but yet it was not the territorial expansion that happened was with the purpose of trading better. Soon after the revolt of 1857, now the entire part that was political part, territorial part that was won by the company passed on to British crown. So now we became a colony of the British Empire. So the first major change that happened with the failure of revolt of 1857 was that English East India Company passed on the territory of India to British crown. So earlier we had the directors of the company. Now a secretary of state for India, aided by a council, was to be responsible for governance of India. So now also we find that there is the rule was not by somebody who was staying in India. However, the person, the British crown, had placed somebody else in their place in India, that is Secretary of State, who was being aided by council. And they are going to be responsible for governance of India. They're going to have a direct communication with the British crown, and now they will be ruling under the name of the British crown and not under the name of trading rights that has been given by the British crown to English East India Company. The power of directors of the company was completely abolished. Now, directors of the company did not have any role to play in the working of the Indian subcontinent, in the governance of this Indian subcontinent. Next, we have the Queen's Proclamation, 1858. In August 1858, the British Crown assumed the control of India from English East India Company. In 1877, Queen Victoria was crowned Empress of India. In November 1st, 1858, Queen Proclamation came to be. Now, what were the ideas of this Queen's Proclamation? First and foremost, the Queen announced a continuation of company's policy. So whatever policies the company had started, it's going to be continued. That means collection of revenue, in terms of judicial administration, in terms of policing, in terms of legislative, in terms of lawmaking, in terms of administrative, all policies that English East India Company had established are going to be continued. Now the power has only moved on to the crown. The policy of annexation and expansion was abolished. Now that policy is completely abolished because now we have become a colony. So all the princes and all the princely state are now going to sign an agreement with the British Empire, with the British Crown, saying that they are going to be part of the British territory and they're going to help, they're going to be loyal towards the Crown, and and if they do so, that's when all their rights and privileges are going to be preserved. That is, they're going to be left the way they are. They can follow their own process of who is going to ascend the throne. The Britishers are not going to get involved into that. However, they need to sign an individual agreement with the British Crown this time. However, they're not going to annex any new territory. The Indian state were henceforth to recognize the paramountcy of the British Crown. So you had princely state, and above them you had the British Crown. Further proclamation also promised religious toleration and freedom of religion without any interference from the officials. It was decided that Indians are going to be left to practice their own religion the way they want to, and none of the officials are going to interfere in any religious ideologies or religious purposes of the people who are now a part of their colony. Now, there was a new structure since after the Queen's proclamation. There was a lot of changes that happened in structure of the government. The first and foremost was that a better government of India in 1858, an act was passed. Both the board of control and board of directors were completely abolished. The office of Secretary of State for India was created with an Indian Council of 15 members to assist the Viceroy of India. So rather than Governor General, now you have the Viceroy, who is going to be assisted by a council of 15 members. The Indian Civil Service Act of 1861 was passed, which provided for an annual competitive examination to be held in London for recruitment to the civil services. And Indians can also be part of the civil service examination, but they can only do it when they go to London, because it's in London that the paper is going to be taking place. So every person who wants to be part of this civil service examination has to go to London. Thus, you limited it to only elites who could now be part of the civil services or the bureaucracy. So though this was one of an option for Indians also to be part of the bureaucracy, but you're already limiting it to only elites who can be part of the English bureaucracy, which are ruling the Indian subcontinent. Another very important consequence of Revolt of 1857 was reconstruction of the Indian Army. Now, the Sepoy Rebellion was something that the British Empire was completely, they were shocked when they saw this. So they decided that there were certain problems within the structuring of the army, and thus army structure need to be changed. Now, what did they do was that the number of European soldiers were increased. Usually earlier they would have battalions of only and only Indians. Over and above, there would be one European who's going to guide them. Now, this ideology needs to be changed, and thus we find that there was increase and fixed number of Europeans, both in Bengal army, Bombay and Madras armies. In Bengal army, one European was placed for every 2 Indian soldiers, and in Bombay and Madras armies, two Europeans were placed on every 5 soldiers. The European troops were kept in key geographical and military position. Now we find that all the European troops were placed in very important geographical and military position, so that they can then ensure that no such rebellions happen at very crucial positions. So all the border areas, we find that European soldiers were placed. And important branches like artillery were put exclusively in European hands. So what had happened during the Revolt of 1857 was that a lot of sepoys were armed, because they had received those armaments from the English East India Company, as they were going to fight from the side of the English East India Company in the Crimean War. So we find that English East India Company actually gave armaments to the rebels. So that's post Revolt of 1857, it was decided that arms are not going to be given in the hands of the Indian soldiers. So artillery was exclusively in the European hands. Infantry and other such allied services were given to Indians. Secondly, the organization of the Indian section on army was now based on policy of divide and rule. Now, there was no one caste group in any particular army, not very homogenized people in one particular battalion of the army. There were people from different regions of the country with different caste identity, with different religious identities, so that they cannot then unify and rebel against the English East India British rule, because it was very difficult for them to curb the rebellions, because sepoy rebellions were all armed, and that became a problem. Who trained those people into warfare? The English did. Who gave them armaments? The English did. Who taught them how to wage a war? The English did. So now Britishers decided that it was literally giving, it was literally feeding milk to a snake, and that's how it was decided that further it's not going to happen, and thus key positions and key branches of the army were taken away from the English East India Company. The policy of annexation was given up, as we studied earlier, according to Queen's proclamation. The early policy of annexation was abandoned, and rulers of these states were now authorized to adopt their heirs. If you don't have a legal male heir, you could always adopt. Particular territories was completely subordinated to the authority of the British, and they were converted into boards of privileged dependence. Their participation, their English East India Company did not have too much involvement in these areas. However, the British Empire gave them privileges, gave them honorary status to ensure that their loyalty is always intact. Increase in racial animosity between British and the Indians. Racial bitterness was perhaps the worst legacy of the struggle. After the struggle, the racial discrimination became more stringent. To instill fear amongst Indians, the rebels were blown from guns or hanged from the gallows. So to make sure that Indians are scared of the Britishers, the rebellions were brutally suppressed and in public places, so that even Indians have a fear. They fear the British rather than feeling themselves as somebody who's going to liberate them from their earlier backwardness. The idea now was to instill fear. The general public opinion in Britain was against any clemency for the rebels. So it was considered that rebels should not be treated in any way less, and that they should rather be to rule India better. The best ideology is to instill fear, and from that onwards, we will find that Indians were treated badly to make sure that they understand they never have the courage of rebelling. So their morale has to be gotten down, plus they have to be always be fearful, and this force was something that was pivotal in post-independent revolt of 1857. We find that we would find terror and force as the main motive or main agenda that was used by the British government in curbing any form of resistance. When Governor General Canning declared that a gesture of leniency and a show of mercy would help him winning back the loyalty of the sepoys, he was mocked in the British Parliament. Thus, we find that this is the time when the idea was that leniency for any sort of resistance is stupidity, and thus if there is any sort of resistance, it has to be curbed with terror and force only, and thus Indians have to become scared of the British. Setback to the reforms, we find that during the company's time, there were certain reforms that the company started taking place in terms of abolition of sati and widow remarriage. So Britishers saw that this was one of the reasons why many rebellions were part of the revolt, because they thought that their religion is being hampered. Thus, they completely gave up on any sort of social reforms. They now adopted a policy of encouraging orthodox elements in the society and discourage the social reform. So now they started encouraging orthodoxy because they said that they are not going to mingle with the religion. So now they were in fact mingling with the religion, but in a reverse situation when they started giving impetus to orthodoxy. They actively encourage social evils like casteism, communalism for their political ends. So soon we find that we will have communalism being used by the British government in the policy of divide and rule. Also, we have separate electorate on the basis of communal, on the basis of religion, on the basis of caste also coming up in the government when Indians started demanding more power in the government. So they decided, okay, fine, we are going to give you, but then dividing us on the basis of a caste and on the basis of religion, so that these ideas are then further entrenched in the society, and the society is divided and thus not united ever for another such revolt. The policy of divide and rule begins since the British thought that revolt was a conspiracy hatched by the Muslim. The latter was severely punished and discrimination made against them in public appointment and in other areas. So just after the revolt, we find that there was a discrimination between Hindus and Muslims. Hindus were given preference over the Muslims, as Muslims were considered people who conspired against the revolt against the British government. This policy was later reversed and a belated appeasement of the Muslim began. Then they saw that Indians have started rising in their position, Hindus have started rising in position, and now they're demanding certain power in the government. So that's when they started shaking hands with the Muslims, who they had already by then discriminated, so that the Hindu population can then look at this in a more communal way and then always be divided. These policies created problems for Indian freedom struggle and contributed to the growth of communism. This eventually was one of the reasons why communalism started in India, when Britishers also favored one religious community over and above the other for their own political motives. Economic loot accelerated. Post this, we find that most of the reactionary groups like Indian Zamindars and princes and landlords, they were being looted and plundered. They had to pay a lot of war indemnities, and they were completely impoverished. Their fortunes were taken away from this, and this then became one of the reasons why Britishers were trying to ensure that their pots of gold are always filled. This also, after India became a colony of the British Empire, it gave them a way of economic loot, and that this is when we find that war and things like home indemnity. So railways started coming in, telegraph started happening, roads were building, and for all of this, Indians were being taxed, Indians were being paid. High revenue demand was something that was happening. Indian peasantry was not producing for their local consumption, rather producing for what was required in the European market. Industries were completely destroyed, and what Dadabhai Naroji then calls drain of wealth started happening, and thus we find that it gave way for Britishers to then economically impoverish the country. Thank you, students. With that, we come to an end, and I hope you all will go through this. Thank you so much.